Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MeanGene Show. We are streaming live here on Podbeanlive.com. Hope you are getting ready for week 3 of the National Football League. It all gets underway here shortly, and I am going to bring you every game, including tonight's game between the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans. I will cover that game as well as the other games that will be taking place this Sunday, and of course the Monday night football game. So you have to stick around. We're going to have a great show. As a matter of fact, these shows are picking up. We had a lot of participation last week, and I'm hoping that we get the same thing here this week, but it's going to be fun. Okay. So I definitely want you to stay the course and see what we got to say here. All right. And you know what? Every Saturday night, folks, if you don't get enough of the MeanGene Show, you could tune in every Saturday night. I am on KDWN 720 AM, 101.5 FM in Las Vegas. It's a 10 p.m. West Coast time, the Pacific time, okay? But for some reason, if you cannot stay up, because I know if you're on the East Coast listening to the show, then that's going to be like 1 o'clock in the morning. So, hey, as much as I want you to stay up and listen, I get it, I understand, but make sure you listen to the podcast, because the podcast will be on iHeartRadio, it would be on Spotify, and it's also going to be on TuneIn as well as iTunes, okay? So that's each and every week. That's the Saturday show. We do it out of Las Vegas, and we have a great time doing it. Speaking of Las Vegas, okay, so I will be live in studio in Las Vegas October 20, the weekend of the 23rd through the 25th. That's the weekend, I believe, the Las Vegas Raiders will be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a good game, a rematch of an old Super Bowl game from many, many moons ago. All right, so we are going to kind of break down what's going to be happening with the Texans and the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, surprisingly, folks, they come into the season 2-0, which I haven't really seen them play so far this year. So I'm looking forward to watching. I am not looking forward to playing, okay, because I am 57 years old, not football shape, although I could probably fool people as a running back, okay, because, you know, I got that height and build for a running back, but I'm probably slow as hell. And if I see linebackers and safeties and cornerbacks coming to get me, I'm probably going to start screaming for my mama. But anyway, I tell you what, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers, though. 2-0. Last week they beat the New Orleans Saints. That was a divisional game, NFC South Division, 26-7. And the Houston Texans, now I tell you what, this is a surprising team, because a few months back I had Patrick Creighton on the show. He's a host on ESPN 97.5 in Houston. He came on the show and he just said, hey, MeanGene, I don't think the Texans are going to win a game at all. And, you know, for the moment, I believed them, because at the time, things were really, really escalating as far as the Deshaun Watson stuff. And, you know, David Culley had just got on board. And, you know, here this guy is trying to, establish his reign as the new coach of this team. But and then all of a sudden the season starts, and, you know, they get a win. And they go to Cleveland last week, although they lose the game 31-21. They played really good, and I think they had a chance to win had Tyrod Taylor not got injured and finished the game. But, man, it's just one of those unfortunate breaks there that happens, you know, with in football. But I tell you what, this Texans team, and I think you can ask anyone, they would say that they are surprised by the Texans and what they have done so far. So they're at home. Okay, everyone gets to play on Thursday night in the NFL, so why not the Texans, right? And as a matter of fact, I live in Houston, Texas, although I travel back and forth to Las Vegas on a regular basis. But I do live in Texas. I will not be going to the game tonight. It's down the road, not far from me, but I am going to set it out and watch it at home, because I just got back from Pittsburgh, where I was in attendance for the Raiders and Steelers matchup. We'll talk a little bit about that later when I get to those two teams. But yeah, the Texans. I mean, a real good team here. So I'm trying to multitask because I am trying to put my information here on Facebook so people can jump in the for the live feed here. So they're asking me for this 2-factor authentication, and I guess I just have to say yes. And then when I say yes, I can go ahead and let people know that we are on live streaming on Podbean. All right, that's how that works. This is, all of that stuff. I don't know why I have to go through this every freaking time. But anyway, we're not going to let that distract us too much here. We got to do what we got to do here for the show. But I do want you to know that the Texans are a team that people should really, the defense has been holding up. And reports out of Houston is that David Culley is able to just, this guy might be coach of the year, not necessarily for talent and all of that stuff, but just the fact of all the BS that he's had to endure, just by inheriting this team and the Deshaun Watson stuff, how they're dealing with Deshaun Watson. And it doesn't appear to be a distraction in Houston, but the Texans are out doing their thing. I mean, look, had they beat the Cleveland Browns last week in Cleveland, everyone would have been talking about that, right? I mean, everyone. But this team is on the national spotlight tonight, and it's their night. So we are going to respect them as much as we can, and try to break down this game as well as the other games. Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and look at the numbers here for overall? These teams haven't really played each other that much, and the reason why, the Panthers was a new franchise team, and then the Texans or somewhat a new franchise team because they used to be the Houston Oilers. So now the Houston Oilers, they no longer exist in name, but that team went to Nashville, in case those of you who didn't know that. The Tennessee Titans are the original Houston Oilers. Okay, so when it comes to the Titans, that's a word that you cannot mention in the Houston area without calling the police for some help, because they have no love lost for the Tennessee Titans. But anyway, so the reason why these teams have only played each other 5 times. Okay, so the Panthers lead the all-time series 3-2. The Panthers have won the past 3, and the last time these two teams met was on September 29th, 2019. Panthers won 16-10. I can't even recall who was on that team a couple of years ago. But let's go ahead and just break it down here. Matt Rule, Matt Rule used to coach up at Baylor, right? So he is now back in Texas. He's familiar with this place. And David Culley, of course, he is the new coach for the Texans. So, I mean, just let's talk about Sam Darnold real quick, because Sam Darnold, if you can recall, USC quarterbacks always get a bad rap, mainly because they just are not that good and competitive. Sam Darnold might go down as one of the best USC quarterbacks that we know. I mean, there are some other ones, but we're talking a long time ago. But we're looking at here recently. If you look at you look at some of the Matt Castles, you look at some of the other quarterbacks that have come out of USC of late, they have not done very well. But Sam Darnold, for whatever reason, things that work out in New York with the Jets, and he got injured. Somehow, him and his agent, they orchestrate, a release, trade, whatever, buyout. They get out of New York. He ends up in Carolina. Things just kind of worked out. And I honestly think this is a good fit. He got a chance to go up against his old team, the Jets, and didn't make any noise about it, just went out there on the field and handled his business. Like I said, last week, they beat the New Orleans Saints 26-7. And he's throwing the ball a lot. 73 times he threw the ball last week, completed 50 of those for 584 yards, 3 touchdowns. So watch out for Sam Darnold. Okay, I had a chance to meet Sam when he got drafted. The draft that was at Texas, I almost said Texas Stadium, Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium. So I had a chance to interview Sam Darnold as a rookie. And he's just a quiet guy, real quiet guy. And you're not going to hear a lot of talk. He just sort of gets it done on the field, and he's doing it with the Panthers. If the Carolina Panthers go 3-0 tonight, uh, heads will be swinging and attention, and they are going to get a lot of attention. So I have already made my picks for all of the games, so I won't have to do like I did last week and stumble over some information that I didn't read, that I read while I was doing the show, and I wanted to change my pick. But I'm not going to do that today. I got my picks. Everything is all set. But I want to talk about Sam Darnold, and we just gave you the numbers that he had last week. How about Christian McCaffrey? Okay, so people couldn't wait to draft him on their fantasy football team, me included. I actually had the number one pick in 2 of my fantasy football leagues, and I didn't choose McCaffrey on both because you just don't do that. But I did take him on in one of those leagues. DJ Moore, great wide receiver. He's doing great things there too. So things are looking good there for the Panthers. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. You're going to hear all those names tonight against the Houston Texans. But it's not it's offense, but it's also defense. Okay, you got Shaq Thompson. He's getting it done. You got Hassan Reddick and the defensive end Brian Burns. He had a sack last week, and you got Jerry McChin. He's leading in tackles there for that team, and then you got the rookie cornerback J.C. Horn. All right, he had his first interception last week, and he is the son of Joe Horn, who used to be a wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. If you didn't know that, J.C. Horn. The cornerback, they drafted him this year, and so how about that? He had to feel really relieved getting that first interception, and that might be a problem because he's going up against a rookie, a quarterback, Davis Mills, and we'll talk about the Texans here in a little bit. But he's going against a rookie quarterback. So it's got to be enticing, and this is one reason why you probably should pick the Carolina Panthers to win tonight, because it's just all the information, everything just leads towards that. And I know the Texans are happy to be at home to host a game. And why they don't open that roof at NRG Stadium, it's besides me. It's the first day of fall was it yesterday or today? And the temperatures in Houston is about 73, 74, 75. That's probably what it's going to be around game time, maybe 73. But and no humidity. If you ever been to Houston, the humidity is one of the most bizarre things on the planet, right? Because it's just freaking hot. But not today. It's a San Diego-like day in Houston, if you know what I mean. But so the Panthers, that's the Panthers on as far as their roster goes. But looking at the Texans, okay, we talked about the Texans. They, Mark Ingram, and I know a lot of fantasy advice says to set him, and I don't know. I mean, he's the only thing they got. When you're starting a rookie quarterback in the NFL, the last thing you want him doing is passing the ball 40 or 50 times. And I just told you what J.C. Horn did last week. So you will have to depend on the ground game if you are the Texans, and Mark Ingram is your only option. So I'm sure they're going to whip up something for this guy, the coaching staff. He's got Brandon Cooks. He's putting up some pretty good numbers there, but offense-wise, you got Philip Lindsay too. So if they're telling you to bench Mark Ingram, then you got Philip Lindsay, who is starting to embrace his new surroundings. Philip Lindsay played with the Denver Broncos a while back. So, but on offense, you got Danny Amendola. The Texans just don't have the star power names that you will see on other NFL teams. And it's unfortunate, but it doesn't really make them a bad team, because remember, like I said, they wasn't supposed to win a game at all. They hung with the Cleveland Browns last week. But tonight, don't count on it. I am taking the Carolina Panthers to go 3-0. And next week, I will have Dustin Pfeiffer from Bally Sports Southeast. He will come on the show and join me. I think he joined me in week 1. We did our picks, and he covers the Carolina Panthers as well as the Charlotte Bobcats. NBA season's coming up pretty soon. But Dustin to come back, and we'll talk about this because, like I said, this team It's amazing. No one was paying attention to any team in the NFC South except the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But here you have a team in the Panthers, and the Panthers and the Buccaneers will play because they are in the same division. So we have to wait and see for that. But Panthers win the Thursday night game. Now let's move on to Sunday. The first game we have Sunday, okay, going to be played at Highmark Stadium. That's the home of the Buffalo Bills. It's the Washington football team at the Buffalo Bills. Both of these teams are 1-1. Someone is going to get in the over 500 there. And, okay, let's just give some stats from the Washington football team. They haven't played since last Thursday night. They won that 1-point game over the New York Giants. It wasn't the prettiest of win, but it was a hell of a game, though. Tyler Heineke, he put the ball in the air 61 times. I have to say, I've never seen these young quarterbacks throw the ball so damn much. And it must be something. That's where you have a good offensive coaching staff because, man, you got to put together something special for, these young guys to be throwing, these inexperienced quarterbacks to be throwing the ball so many times. It is a passing league, okay? So I hope you got a lot of wide receivers on your fantasy football team. I mean, you just don't see running. You want to see running, watch college football on Saturdays. You'll see running. But in the NFL, it's all about the passing, okay? So Tyler Heineke last week, 45 or 61 for 458 yards, 3 touchdowns. And they had Antonio Gibson. He didn't do bad. He's putting up some pretty decent numbers. He's not busting over the 100 mark. And then they got the wide receiver Terry McLaurin, who Taylor Heineke is going to be trying to get the ball to for the most part. You got Adam Humphries and the tight end Logan Thomas. He had 5 catches last week in that game. And then they have another tight end too, Ricky Seals-Jones. You might remember him. He had a touchdown in week 2. But it's the defense of the Washington football team that you got to be concerned about. Montez Sweat, he had a sack last week in that Giants game. Chase Young, I mean, this guy is just all over the football field. So it's going to be kind of tough. But the Buffalo Bills are at home. Sean McDermott, they won 35-0 last week over the Miami Dolphins. I mean, did Miami even show up last week? Did they show up? I mean, that's the thing. Did they show up? I don't think they showed up. Okay. So you know what? I am going to go to the chat room because people, what a beautiful day. Yes, it is. It is a beautiful day. And I see Go Raiders. Let's see here. You know what? I'm going to get to the Raiders because I was at that Pittsburgh Steelers Raiders game last week, and I can't take nothing away from the Raiders, but we're going to get back to them. Hey guys, thank you for jumping on here. I'm hoping that you enjoying the show, and I hope I say something great about your team because if I don't, I'm sure you're going to tell me that I didn't say anything good. But back to Buffalo. So Buffalo wins 35-0. I guess they sort of put Tua out the game. I kind of saw that coming. After the Bills lose to Pittsburgh at home, I knew they wasn't going to have a bad game in week 2, and they didn't. So Josh Allen is doing his thing. He passed for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Devin Singletary, he rushed for 82 yards in his first touchdown of the season. And a lot of folks don't know what to do when it comes to fantasy with, Devin Singletary, because you want to go with Zach Moss. He's going to get going. And, and he had a touchdown last week. So, but Stephon Diggs, his first touchdown catch of the season last week also. But the Buffalo Bills wins this game, okay? Don't really need to spend a lot of time on it. They win the game. They got everything. They got the running game. They got the passing game. They got good tight ends, good wide receivers, a hell of a quarterback. So I have the Buffalo Bills winning this game on Sunday. All right, let's go to the next one. The Cleveland Browns will host the Chicago Bears. Oh my Lord, the Chicago Bears. I didn't know they was going to come up this early in this thing because I I had something I wanted to say. I have been a strong advocate of not really starting these rookie quarterbacks and throwing them into the fire, but it looks like the Bears don't have any choice because Andy Dalton is out. And now everyone in the world, mainly Chicago Bears fans, they get to see the rookie Justin Fields, okay? And let's hope that they have some good plays drawn up for this guy so he doesn't get hurt. But I will question why Justin Fields right now when you have Nick Foles. Now, that's Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy, the head coach of the Bears, he makes some questionable decisions, but I mean, in this case, he decided, and he's still saying that Andy Dalton is their quarterback when he's healthy, but Justin Fields, and this game is going to be played in Cleveland. I know the Bears fans want to see this guy at home, but this is going to be a tough game, though. This is not. It's going to be a good game too, because you got the Bears defense, you got Cleveland. The Browns are 1-1, the Bears are 1-1. You know, something's really got to give, but. In this particular game, folks, I'm picking the Browns. And I mean, some of you may disagree with me. I have to take the Browns because the Browns are a really good team. All right, I'm not telling anybody anything that they don't already know. I just think the Browns defense, and when I say Browns defense, yes, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Myles Garrett. All right, he is going to be licking his chops. You got the rookie quarterback there. And that's why I said the Bears got to do something special because this guy, not only could he have a bad game, he could get hurt. And this is, you just got to be careful with this game. So I got the Browns winning. I think you got Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney on that Browns team to watch out for. So the Bears. Now you got Khalil Mack, over there. He had a sack last week, so he's starting to show up, and Roquan Smith and those guys, they're starting to show up on defense for the Bears. Hey, you get the Baker Mayfield, it could be a good game. But now I'll tell you one thing, the Browns are really going to have to scout well because of Justin Fields. He can beat you with his feet too. So it's going to be an interesting game to watch. But I'm picking the Browns to win that game. The next game we have is the 1-1 Baltimore Ravens at the 0-2 Detroit Lions. And I tell you, man, I love Dan Campbell. He's a good coach. I mean, he just seems like one of those coaches you want to play for. But man, it's just tough. He's going to win a game, and I'm sure when they do, they probably pop the champagne in Detroit. The game is at Detroit. Detroit, short week. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers just went in there and beat the brakes off them Monday night, 35-17. And then how about Baltimore coming off a big-time Sunday night win over Kansas City, 36-35. It was a one-point game, but Lamar Jackson showed his ass. I can say that because we're on Podbean. I can say that on my KDWN on the radio show. It depends on how you say it. But anyway, he did show his ass last week. It's just not a good thing when Lamar Jackson is like he's probably ranked as the third leading rusher in the NFL right now. I know it's a young season, but go look at the stats for the top rushers in the NFL right now. Lamar Jackson is right there. That's not going to happen the whole year because he's starting to be more of a pocket passer. But when it comes to Kansas City, and you have to beat Kansas City if you're the Baltimore Ravens, and Lamar Jackson said it perfect. He finally got the monkey off his back, and he literally beat the Kansas City Chiefs last Sunday night. So, but watch this game. This could be a trap game in a sense because the Ravens are just so high and full of emotion off that win last week that Detroit could still win. And they could. I mean, they're 0-2. Normally it doesn't get exciting until you're like 0-9. The Detroit Lions know all about going over, right? I think they went 0-16 one year. But this Dan Campbell guy, I don't know. I would not want to be in a locker room with this guy when he just unleashes his fury because I tell you what, this guy is a motivator. And, I'm saying all of this and, that I pretty much I picked the Lions to win. I did. I did pick the Lions to win because I see it coming though. I mean, I just see the setup. I just see, man, we did so well last Sunday night, and for Baltimore, that was their like AFC Championship game, and I think they are still high on emotion. I think the Detroit Lions is going to shock them and beat them. I don't know. It could be an ugly game. Detroit got one of the best tight ends in football now, T.J. Hawkinson. Jared Goff. Uh, I mean, I look here. I just told you earlier, it's a passing league, right? Jared Goff put the ball in the air 93 times. He completed 64 passes for 584 yards. This is crazy. Now, even Lamar Jackson, as much as he ran last week against KC, he put the ball in the air 56 times for 474 yards. So I tell you, it's just crazy. It's a passing league all the way. But I'm going with the upset here. I got the Detroit Lions winning this game on Sunday, and winning their first game of the year. Next game we have is the Arizona Cardinals, 2-0 at the Jacksonville Jaguars, 0-2. I don't feel the same way about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, I don't think they're going to upset the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, Chase Edmonds, all of these guys, Rondale Moore, the rookie, I mean, they are getting it done. They are getting it done. And this is one of those teams that this was my surprise team of the year. And I think they're going to come out and continue to surprise. And you guys, let me know. Those of you in the on the Podbean live streaming with me in the chat there, let me know if you agree with me that the Arizona Cardinals are for real. And I mean, not whether you like them or not. If you just, you just have to recognize some greatness when you see it. I just think this team is exciting. And I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars, Urban Meyer, these guys are still looking for their first win. So Trevor Lawrence, here's a rookie last week. Trevor Lawrence threw the ball 84 times. And, it's almost like, I guess if you just look at that, I equate that to like the NBA shooting a bunch of threes. That's what, so you got the NFL is throwing a bunch of passes. The NBA is shooting a bunch of threes. They're just not running the ball anymore. This is why running backs are probably going to be like dinosaurs here pretty soon. They're just not going to get the big yards and the big, they're just going to pass. And 84 times, I did not know he passed the ball for 84 times. He completed half of them, almost half of them, 42 for 450 yards, but did not have enough to win. And you know what? I tell you what, folks, this is not necessarily, let's retract that because he didn't throw the ball 84 times. No, he didn't. As a matter of fact, I think he passed for 118 yards and a touchdown, and he rushed for 21 yards last week. There we go. All right. We correct that because I'm looking at cumulative totals of the whole season, not necessarily the other games. So I guess I have to retract that. So, yeah, last week he just passed for 118 yards and a touchdown. They lose the game 23-13. They lose the game 23-13 over the Denver Broncos. They're still looking for their first win there. And I think the Arizona Cardinals get the game. Now, Kyler Murray last week did pass for 400 yards. Okay, that is not a mistake. He passed for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions. He still had a hell of a quarterback rating, 117.6. And he's getting it done. But and he's just doing great stuff with the Arizona Cardinals. So I picked the Arizona Cardinals to win this game. All right, now that we got our numbers right here, let's get this right moving forward. The Los Angeles Chargers 1-1 at the Kansas City Chiefs 1-1. Oh my goodness, this is an AFC West Conference game. All right, the Chargers lose to the Dallas Cowboys last week 20-17. The Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Baltimore Ravens 36-35. All right, Patrick Mahomes completed 24 of 31 passes for 343 yards last week. Justin Herbert, he completed 31 of 41 passes for 337 yards. So he put the ball up in the air 41 times, where Patrick Mahomes put the ball up in the air not that much, really, 31 times. So, but both of these teams are coming off a loss. This is a really good game. It's in Kansas City, and it's just bad timing for the Chargers. It's bad timing for the Chargers. I know that somebody got a moral victory last week against the Dallas Cowboys, but the Kansas City Chiefs, it's just rare that Andy Reid lose back-to-back games. I think you guys would agree with me. I don't see it. I don't see them, losing back-to-back games. But anyway, I picked the Kansas City Chiefs to rebound and get back on track. So that's what's going to happen in that game. All right, the next game. All right, the New Orleans Saints 1-1 at the New England Patriots. This game is this is an interesting game. I guess you heard what happened at the Superdome this week. I think they were power washing the Superdome, trying to get ready and clean and stuff for a home game. And I guess whatever equipment they was using caught on fire. And just the Superdome, just some amazing stories there. I got stuck in an elevator there at the Superdome, going from the press box down to the locker room. So it's a very old place, although it's got so much history, though. The Superdome is the Superdome for the first many years of the NFL. That's where they had the Super Bowl. So, they get the name the Super Bowl, the Superdome. That kind of goes together because New Orleans is a good host for the Super Bowl. But that dome, it's probably time for another dome. It's just probably time. So much has happened. The hurricanes and storms that come through there. It's just, you got to question if it's just really a safe place moving forward. But let's talk about the game here. Mac Jones gets a win as a rookie. He beats the Jets last week 25-6. All right, so he completed 22 of 30, and he had 186 yards. So it didn't look all that good, but it was good enough for a win because, Belichick and those guys are going to put something up for him to be successful, and he was. Now, the Saints, they lost to the team that's playing tonight, the Carolina Panthers, and that was a NFC South division game. After that great win there, Jameis had over Aaron Rodgers, and this time he actually had his 11th career rushing touchdown. That's something that, you don't see Jameis, run the ball as much. But he did pass for 334 yards and a touchdown. He had no picks. Hey, how about this? You're talking about a guy that threw how many picks that one year? It was 30-something. He led the NFL in interceptions through 2 games, Jameis, with those new pair of eyes. He don't have new eyes, but he did have that LASIK surgery, right, or whatever they call it. So his eyesight is better than it used to be. And through 2 games, he hasn't thrown any picks. So Jameis Winston is doing what he needs to do. But he lost the game 26-7. So they need to rebound on this game. And the Patriots, I tell you what, though, I picked the Saints to win. I think the Saints get back on track. I think the defense is good enough. I think they're going to go after Mac Jones. I got the Saints winning on Sunday. I'm not going to give you a whole lot of other stuff. I'm trying to see what other things stuck out there. What I do need to talk about Damian Harris, because if you notice the Patriots, when it comes to running backs, it's running back by committee. So they got James White and they got Damian Harris. Both of those guys are putting up good numbers. So in fantasy football, if you had both of them, one of them is a flex or something other, and one is a running back, man, you got some quality points from, that doesn't happen all the time. Same thing with the Cowboys, and we'll talk about them later with Pollard and Ezekiel. You're starting to see that. So you're not just seeing that one running back get the bulk of the carries, unless your name is Derrick Henry, right? But so that was pretty interesting. And, I've yet to see Nelson Aguilar get going there with the Patriots, but we should see if that's going to happen this Sunday. But I got the Saints winning on Sunday versus the Patriots. Next game, Atlanta Falcons 0-2. Atlanta Falcons 0-2 at the New York Giants 0-2. Normally, I would say this is not a game you should waste your time on, But there's some interesting stories here with both of these teams. Of course, the Falcons, who got beat 48-25 by Tampa Bay, which goes to show you that Tampa Bay might just sweep that division. It just depends on what the Panthers and the Saints are going to do. But there's just no excuse for the Atlanta Falcons to be as sorry as they are. A team not many years removed from the Super Bowl, although I did say last week, you got a new coach, you got new coordinators, you got new position coaches, although you got Matt Ryan there, but man, things change if you have a lot of turnover. You cannot fire coaches and bring in new coaches and new schemes and new stuff and expect to just pick up where you left off from that Super Bowl run they had. It's looking bad. Matty Ice is just not. He passed for 300 yards, and I mean, this guy has a ton of yards. We talk a lot about Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees. Well, Matt Ryan has 56,233 passing yards. As a matter of fact, I think he passed Drew Brees for the most passing yards in his first 14 seasons. So it's just, it's incredible. A good quarterback like that. I don't know how much longer Matt Ryan is going to be there, but they got beat pretty bad. The game was in Tampa. Mike Davis, running back, they just don't have a lot of talented folks. Calvin Ridley, and they got the tight end, Kyle Pitts there. He had 5 catches and 73 yards there. So it's Matt Ryan is dealing with new players. I don't think he's going to finish his career out in Atlanta, and you just already see the changing of the guard. Now, on the other hand, you got the Giants. You got the Giants who haven't played since last Thursday against that Washington football team. And, Daniel Jones came out, showed out last week. I mean, it was just somebody had to lose that game last week, and unfortunately it was the Giants. But I'm not going to say I'm sold on him, but I was impressed with Daniel Jones last week. I will say that. I mean, because this boy would run the ball. We don't talk about Daniel Jones as a runner, but what he had, 95 yards rushing in that game last week against the Washington football team. So, and you guys remember when he had that one game where he was running. I mean, he was up the middle running, and he ran out of gas. He just tripped over his own damn self and fell down. But the guy likes to run. And so this game is going to be played at MetLife Stadium in New York. I think I have the Giants winning. I do, because I'd hate to second guess myself. No, I got the Giants winning this game. I do, because I just can't invest any more emotion in the freaking Falcons. So I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So 100 yard. So you got New England? Okay. All right. You got New England on that game against. Wait a minute, because I went with the Panthers. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I can understand that. I can see why you're taking New England. They because they got a good running game there with those 2 running backs, and no one likes to bet against Bill Belichick. But I see what you're saying there. But I'm going to stick with the Saints and in that game. Let me go back up and I'm gonna stick with the Saints in that game. But in this game, I got the New York Giants. Okay, New York Giants going to win this game. MetLife Stadium. This is an early game, so it'll be done with and Daniel Jones, and it'll be interesting to see how they do it. Now, when is Kenny Golladay going to get started here? They have to get the Kenny Golladay, and they also got who else they got? They got Sterling Shepard. But when you got a quarterback running like that, he's probably not, either he's giving up on the play and running, or he's just not able to, to find anybody. But I got the Giants winning this game. All right, the next game we have is the Cincinnati Bengals 1-1 at the Pittsburgh Steelers 1-1. All right, so let me talk about this, because you guys listen to me. I like the Steelers. I'm a fan of the Steelers. Okay. I know I do a show in Vegas. I know I have to talk about the Raiders a lot. And last week in the press box at Heinz Field, I sat with the Raiders staff because I represented the station that I do a show on in Las Vegas, KDWN 720 AM, 101.5 FM. So I actually had to cover that game. But now on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, because I pick a game of the week that I'll follow on Twitter and tweet what's happening. So I just happened to tweet this game from the press box. So I reached out to Steeler Nation and Raider Nation, two of the biggest fan bases out there. You know, Cowboys got a big fan base. Of course, the Packers got a big fan base. But this was incredible. I think I was engaging with over some 6,000 people while I was tweeting this game. So it was very interesting. Raiders beat the Steelers in that game 26-17. So let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? This is an AFC North Conference game. Joe Burrows, the Cincinnati Bengals, through the history of the AFC North, you know, it doesn't really matter what the records are. These teams have always played each other tough. You remember some of those ugly Bengal games, playoff games, when Marvin Lewis was the coach and they just had some, it was some ugly games. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have an issue there, and I have to acknowledge it. Regardless, I know it's my team, but you have to tell the truth when you see it. And Big Ben, I think Big Ben is he might miss this one as much as he wants to play, just like as much as he wanted to come back for the 2021 season. I'm not so sure if it was a great idea. Now, I know Steelers fans can say, MeanGene, we don't like you no more. You know, what are you talking about? I mean, you know, Big Ben has 2 Super Bowls. I mean, he's sort of looking like Eli Manning. Maybe not as bad. Eli had some bad games, but Big Ben has had some bad games, you know, since his last Super Bowl. And I just don't know if he's got anything left in the tank. I mean, I sit there and I saw the game last week, and, you know, he put the ball up in the air 40 times. He had a 67.5 a complete percentage, which was horrible. You know, 295 yards. And I mean, man, he is just not, oh my goodness. You know, and the Raiders defense got to him so much. You know, he's been hit some 20 times in just 2 weeks. And we still have 15 more? We got 17 weeks. So 15 more weeks of this stuff. And I don't think Big Ben is going to be able to now. The sad thing is that you want Big Ben, but because you can't rely on the backups. And everyone that's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan know how backup quarterbacks for the Steelers just don't get it done. It's been a while since someone has been able to just step up to the plate and get it done. But then you got the Cincinnati Bengals here. And TJ Watt, who, you know, he has 3 sacks on the year. I think he got one last week against Derek Carr, Melvin Ingram. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers are just, he's hurt. So this is a home game. But the Bengals are bad too. So let's talk about them because they lost last week to the Chicago Bears, 2017. Joe Burrow is looking good. He put the ball up in the air 30 times, completed 19 of those for a 63 completion percentage. And but I like Joe Burrow. He's a good up and coming quarterback there, and I think he's going to do some great things. Still coming, off that injury last year. But you got Joe Mixon, T. Higgins. Some of his offense is really getting going. Finally, they get the ball to Tyler Boyd. I said, when would they do that? He had 7 catches for 73 yards last week. But T. Higgins is there. You got that the other rookie wide receiver, Jamar Chase, who's really going to do great things in the NFL. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh to win because it's just rare that they, lose back-to-back games at Heinz Field, okay? I won't say that they don't lose back-to-back games, but it is rare that they lose at Heinz Field. That wasn't a low blow on Eli. I think Eli Manning is Eli, I tell you what, Eli almost been the best quarterback in his family, until Peyton caught up with him. But no, I would never say nothing bad about Eli. I mean, Eli just looked bad, though, and Big Ben is looking just as bad. Big Ben is looking just as bad. And at some point in time, you got to walk away. Now, Eli wasn't hurt as much as Big Ben. Eli just made a lot of mistakes in his post Super Bowl, era. Big Ben is just getting beat up and making a lot of mistakes. So, Big Ben is looking worse than what Eli looked. And it's just tough. When you got quarterbacks that have brought a franchise Super Bowl wins, Eli brought the Giants 2, Big Ben has brought the Steelers 2. Man, just passing that torch. Everyone can't be Tom Brady. Everyone cannot be 44 years old and playing like he's 29. Only Tom Brady can do that. And the Steelers don't have an offensive line anymore. I mean, most of those guys retired, moved on. They just don't have that. So that's another reason why Big Ben is just getting the brakes beat off of him by defenses, and they know that. So anyway, I got the Steelers winning. I don't know. This could be an ugly game, but I say Pittsburgh win their first game at home. I won't be able to travel up there this week to see it. I thought they would get the win over the Raiders last week. They didn't, but I say they get it this week. All right, the next game we have the Indianapolis Colts 0-2 at the Tennessee Titans 1-1. The only reason, and you can disagree with me, the only reason the Indianapolis Colts are 0-2 is because of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is not healthy. Let me back that up. It's hard for Carson Wentz to stay healthy. That's what I meant to say. I don't know. He was 20 of 31 passes last week for 247 yards. He had a touchdown, and he also had a pick. And he gets hurt, so Jacob Eason comes into the game, and that just seems to be the story of Carson Wentz's career. I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. I know everyone is putting a lot of support behind him. I tell you what, if I'm the Indianapolis Colts, oh my goodness, I would try to go and get the other quarterback that retired. That kid that retired way too early. It's not too late. Hell, he's still in his 20s, I think. But they play the Titans. Titans get a win in overtime over Seattle last week, a rare win. Hey, if you can go to the 12th man in Seattle and win, then you got bragging rights for 7 days, and they do. And Derrick Henry, let's see what Derrick Henry did last week. 237 scrimmage yards. You guys know Derrick Henry gets started slow when it comes to the NFL season, and then he just accelerates. And then how about Julio Jones? Okay, 6 catches for 128 yards. He didn't do no dumb stuff, right, that he got accused of doing the week before. So the Titans is another team that I say watch out for. They've been knocking on the door. Tannehill, he put the ball in the air 40 times, completed 27 of them for 347 yards. Watch out for the Titans. And I know for a fact I picked the Titans to win this game. There's just no way I would pick the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know what's going to happen with the Colts. You can go back and get Phillip Rivers or anybody to come back. Carson Wentz. It's going to be a long year for the Colts fans there in Indy. All right, let's go to the next game. So I got the Titans winning this game. I got the Steelers winning the game I said before. I'm just sort of recapping. I picked the Giants to win. I picked the Saints to win. And I know some of you guys disagreed with me. And that's okay. That's fine. And I also picked the Chiefs to win. I picked the Cardinals to win. And I picked the Lions to upset the Ravens. And I picked the Cleveland Browns to beat the Bears. And I picked the Bills to win. I'm just recapping here. And I also picked the Panthers for tonight. So, all right, where does that bring us now to the next game? I think the Broncos here. So let's see who the surprising Denver Broncos are playing. Can you believe the Broncos are 2-0, first of all? I mean, did anyone see that coming? So I guess who they get to play. I'm not laughing if you're from New York. I'm sorry. The New York Jets 0-2 at the Denver Broncos 2-0. Teddy Bridgewater is in the same position as Sam Darnold. And isn't it interesting how he leaves Carolina and goes to Denver? Sam Darnold leaves New York Jets and go to Carolina. Everybody is winning at the expense of the New York Jets. Both of these quarterbacks, just by making those moves, are just doing a hell of a job. And it's crazy. Hey, if I get distracted, that's because NFL Access is on the TV and MJ Acosta is on. So I'm going to try to keep my eyes on my laptop and finish this show. But anyway, you gotta just be happy with Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold. So the Denver Broncos, no one saw this coming. No one saw it coming. So the Raiders 2-0, the Denver Broncos are 2-0. This is incredible stuff. It's incredible stuff here. So I got the Broncos. I got the Broncos winning. Bridgewater, what did he do last week? He put the ball in the air 34 times. All right, so for 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Probably had his best quarterback rating of the year, 125.6. That's a hell of a rating. Melvin Gordon, he continues to help out. You got Javonte Williams, the rookie running back. He's helping out. Cortland Sutton, the guy everybody passes over in fantasy football, and then when they try to go out and get him, it's too damn late. He showed out. He set a career high in catches, had 9 catches, 159 yards. And they still got the good tight end, Noah Fant. Hey, I got the Broncos winning. The Broncos 3-0, and there's a chance the Raiders are going to be 3-0. We're going to talk about that game coming up here. And the AFC West, how about that? How about that? I mean, it's just incredible stuff happening here when you look at some of these teams. And we haven't even talked about the NFC West, because you got a couple of unbeaten teams there too. So I got the Broncos beating the Jets. And I should say something about the Jets, and I will. Zach Wilson, 19 of 33 passes there, 210 yards. Jets, who did they lose to last week? The New England Patriots. So they didn't even get a touchdown on the board last week, just 2 field goals. It's just not a good, talented team. I can say names of this team you probably don't even know. Michael Carter's the running back. Got Ty Johnson, he's the other one. Corey Davis is probably, him and Jamison Crowder, veterans there. But it's just a bad team, and the Jets might end up getting another incredible draft pick as a result. So, So, okay, let me get back to the chat room. So, okay. Well, so I compare Eli to Ben in a sense of quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls and they need to retire. Yeah, Ben needs to retire. Okay. Eli, sometimes I think Eli, I don't know. Eli made some crazy stuff. So now you say it must be the coach. Are we talking about the New York Giants coach, or are we talking about Mike Tomlin? So let me reply back to that, because I need to know. I'm in the Podbean live streaming chat room there. Hey, you can get in this chat room, all right? Get in and join in, because at some point in time here, and I've already committed to this, that I'm going to give away a pair of tickets to someone. Now you have to be, the Giants coach. Okay, Joe Judge. Okay, I agree with that. That is definitely the case. And the Giants have had so many coaches though. But Daniel Jones is starting to look pretty good. I mean, I didn't know the kid could run like that, but yeah, I don't know how many more coaches the Giants can have after Tom Coughlin. I think they're on their 3rd one after Tom Coughlin. So, but I said I would give away a pair of tickets to an NFL game in your city. I don't know if you got to live close to the game, because I know we're not doing the hotel and the airfare thing. You just have to drive to the stadium, and guys got to let me know where you are, because we can get those tickets to you to an NFL game. Now, it won't be Sunday's game, but we'll certainly work out an opportunity, because we can give away a pair of tickets to an NFL game. Yes. And I don't care if it's the Raiders. I don't care who it is. If you live in Vegas, then if you live in New York, we'll try to get you there. All you got to do is just stick with us here on the MeanGene Podbean live streaming show. And and I'll make it happen. So we'll make that happen. And so 100-yard, you down there in Mississippi. We can get you. You got choices there in Mississippi, right? You got New Orleans and you got Nashville. So let's see what we can do. We'll make it happen. All right, and that's how we're going to do it. We're going to send somebody to an NFL game, and we're going to do it more than once this year. But all right, let me get back on track here because I know the game will be coming up here pretty soon. And I said MJ Acosta on NFL Access has distracted me. So we got the Broncos winning. The next game we have, yes, speaking of those Las Vegas Raiders, the Miami Dolphins 1-1 at the Las Vegas Raiders. So the Dolphins lose Tua, and they're going to go with Jacoby Brissett, who I think he used to play with the Indianapolis Colts. He is capable of winning games. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not like he has started in this league before, and so he knows the NFL. Very sad about Tua, and I know he wanted to go this week. But, man, what can I say about the Las Vegas Raiders? I sat there and seen it with my own eyes. As a matter of fact, after the game, I go into the post-game conference, and I get a chance to talk with John Gruden and Henry Ruggs III. And, I always say, hey, I'm going into the winner's locker room. And in that particular case, the Raiders won that game. They beat the Steelers 26-17. Man, it was a hell of a game. Derek Carr, through 2 games, have passed for 817 yards total in 2 games. Last week, he completed 28 of 37 passes, and he had 382 yards. I think the week before that, he had 434 yards. No one can say they saw Derek Carr putting up those kind of numbers this year. If you say so, you are lying because you didn't see it. I didn't see it. But I'm not going to take anything away from the Raiders, and I get to hear about the Raiders a lot, doing a show in Las Vegas. I mean, I get to hear about them a lot. But I have, worked with the Raiders organization for many years. As a matter of fact, I was at the last Super Bowl that they were in, the one where they got the brakes beat off of them by Tampa Bay. And guess who was the coach of Tampa Bay? John Gruden. Somehow the Raiders found a way to forgive John Gruden. He's back there in Las Vegas now. I think this is year 4 of that 10-year contract they gave him. And man, Raiders, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see it coming with the Denver Broncos either. So I got the Raiders winning the game Sunday. There's just no way that with the injuries to the Miami Dolphins, Raiders just playing good football. Their defense is really surprising. Max Crosby, Solomon Thomas, he got the big man twice last week. Denzel Perriman, Trayvon Mullen, Casey Hayward. I mean, these guys are starting. The more you hear these names, that means they're doing things. They are starting to be really good. So I am looking forward to my first trip to Allegiant Field in Las Vegas. I have not been to that stadium. I will be going for that Philadelphia Eagles Raiders game for the first time. So looking forward to that. But I got the Raiders winning. And Darren Waller, I don't care how many times Derek Carr throws the ball to Darren Waller, he's still catching the damn thing and no one's stopping him. So Dolphins, I'm sorry. I just don't see the Dolphins. They got to travel cross country, and Raiders are just playing great ball. This is an afternoon game, by the way. So it should be a good one. And who's carrying this game? CBS, afternoon game on CBS. All right, next game. Tampa Bay. Oh, yes. Let's talk about this one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-0 at the Los Angeles Rams 2-0. And a lot of people think this is your NFC championship game. Now, we can say that because we like the hype in the media. Charles Davis is going to call this game on CBS. He called the Steelers game last week too, by the way. Didn't get a chance to see him in the press box, but he's a good guy. He is my friend on LinkedIn, though. Charles Davis, a hell of a announcer. Wow. Both teams coming off wins. Rams win last week over the Colts, 27-24. They squeaked it by. Matthew Stafford, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he did have a pick last week. Darrell Henderson, the running back that's taken over for Cam Akers, 82 scrimmage yards there. Cooper Kupp. Can we talk about Cooper Kupp? 9 receptions for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns in week 2. Oh my goodness. I didn't pick him on my fantasy football league. I had him like last year, I think. Guy is amazing. I should have known it was going to happen. Jared Goff was able to hit Cooper Kupp, and Matthew Stafford is just having fun with Cooper Kupp. And that's what's happening with him. And of course, you got Robin Woods, the Rams defense, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, the usual suspects there. But Tom Brady, this is the only tough game on their schedule. And I said they had an easy schedule. I didn't know how good the Rams were going to be this year, but they're looking pretty good with Matthew Stafford. And I picked the Rams. To win this game. As a matter of fact, this is my game of the week. I got the Rams winning this game. And, because I just don't, Tampa Bay is going to win a lot of games. They might only lose 1 or 2, 3 games. This should be one of them. All right. And I'm not going to take nothing away from Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski. Tampa Bay is just using the old New England playbook, so to speak, when it comes to Brady to Gronkowski. And at some point in time, somebody's going to pick up on that. But, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, those guys are going to be fired up come Sunday. This is going to be one hell of a game. And this is an afternoon game. And who's the play-by-play? Oh, yeah, I said Charles Davis is calling this one. Well, he's getting some good games this year. Him and Iron Eagle calling this game on CBS. So this is definitely a must-watch game. Unbeaten. Somebody's got to lose. I just happen to pick the Rams to lose this game. Next game, Seattle Seahawks, 1-1 at the 0-2 Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, I tell you what, mark my word, you guys come back here next week and let me know. MeanGene, you called it. If the Vikings don't win this game, Mike Zimmer, it's probably easier to fire Mike Zimmer than it is to get rid of Kirk Cousins, who signed that massive contract a while back. He's got a big contract, and he's not going anywhere. And so, what do you have? The Vikings, they go 0-3, and I think I picked them to go 0-3 because Seattle's another team that don't lose back-to-back games. They'll lose one and they'll bounce back. I mean, they lose a heartbreaker last week to Tennessee in that 33-30 overtime loss. And Russell Wilson, he's putting up some record numbers. He passed for 343 yards last week and a touchdown, no interceptions. You lose a game with a quarterback rating of 128.8. That's hard to swallow. It is. And, they got Chris Carson there, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Seattle, it's hard to beat them. And Seattle, Tennessee got away with one. I don't see Seattle losing 2 games in a row, but I can see Minnesota losing 3 games in a row. Minnesota got them by a nail biter, 34-33 last week. But I think we haven't heard anything about coaching hot seats, but this is usually the time you hear about it. And it's always going to come from a team that's talented, that's not winning. So it's not like the Minnesota Vikings or the Jacksonville Jaguars or some of these other teams with a lot of inexperience. They have Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins. This team, if they go 0-3, Mike Zimmer's going to have to pay the price. And it's tough. And, do you do it? Because what general managers are going to look at is like, okay, you got to fire him early than late. You got 17 weeks of football. You got a damn good roster, and Cousins, Cook, and Thielen. Man, you got to make a decision. Is it going to be the coach? You can't do nothing with the quarterback because he's locked in financially. So I got the Seahawks winning, and I can't wait till Monday morning to see, what's going to happen. Now, if they get the win, then I guess the story is going to be on the Seattle side because they would fall to 1-2, and that NFC West is Arizona's running away with it right now. So that's going to be it's storylines on both sides of this game here. So I can't wait to see. But I got the Seahawks winning that game. All right. It brings us to the Sunday night game. Guys, we only got one more. I'm going to let you guys go eat your dinner, get ready for this Thursday night football game here. The Green Bay Packers at the San Francisco 49ers. So when I say that the NFC West is as exciting as the AFC West, it's all West Coast, right? You got San Francisco 2-0. You got the Arizona Cardinals 2-0. I mean, so things are looking good there for the and then you got the Rams 2-0. So you just that division is always good, but man, this is really exciting. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, get it done. I knew Aaron Rodgers was going to take it out on Detroit. They got a short week, but they beat Detroit 35-17. It was just no competition there. But Aaron Rodgers still continues to be this diva. I don't know why. He's looking really crazy too. I don't know. He's just looking really scraggly. And, I said on this show, and I think I said on my radio show too, that Tom Brady looks 10 years younger than Aaron Rodgers. But, I don't want to talk about this guy like that. But anyway, I'm just not a fan of what he pulled, that stunt he pulled with the Green Bay Packers. I don't, and when he got beat by Jameis Winston and the Saints in that first game, it's just karma. Karma came back to get him. But this is going to be a good matchup, by the way. And these teams are no strangers to each other either. The last time they played, November 5th of last year, Packers won 34-17. And don't think that the 49ers didn't mark that score and that date on their calendar. Well, they marked that score in the locker room somewhere on a chalkboard, and they marked the date Sunday, September 26th, somewhere also as in revenge. I got the 49ers winning. I got the 49ers winning this game. It's going to be a win. You got Garoppolo. I don't care who they use. I think Trey Lance may not be playing in this game, but you never know what Kyle Shanahan is going to do. But I think this is all about revenge. I think they're going to see a lot of Elijah Mitchell, the rookie. I think they're going to see a lot of Deebo Samuel and Jimmy Garoppolo, and you're going to see some of George Kittle. You're going to see a lot of that. He plays big against Green Bay. So this is going to be very, very, very interesting. So, and it brings us to the Monday night game. Here we go. The Philadelphia Eagles 1-1 at the Dallas Cowboys 1-1. This game is somewhat interesting because it's still competitive because of the records. The Dallas Cowboys, big win at LA last week at those Chargers. And that's the Super Bowl is going to be played at SoFi Stadium. So I'm sure after the Cowboys beat the Chargers, they walked around the stadium to try to get a feel of what the Super Bowl would be like. And then you got the Philadelphia Eagles. They coming off a loss to the 49ers, the team we just talked about, 17-11. Eagles lose 17-11. Cowboys win 2017. So, I tell you what. Monday night game. Game's going to be played at AT&T Stadium. I got the Cowboys winning. All right. A lot of talk's been made about Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. Zeke had, 97 yards from scrimmage or 71 rushing yards last week. Pollard had 109 rushing yards. So Jerry Jones says on Dallas radio that it's a very unique situation to be in. And, of course, it's unique, all right, but let's remember that Ezekiel Elliott gets paid tons of money, way more than Tony Pollard. So it's a unique situation now until Tony Pollard started asking for his damn money. Then it ain't so unique. But it's unique in the sense that, you got two good running backs there. And, for the sake of winning, it's getting done. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to get this win. I got the Cowboys winning that division. Nothing against Washington and New York. I just think they're the most talented team in that division right now. So that is my Monday night game. I think that's it, right? We are done. So that is week 3 of the NFL, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Those of you who are following me here because I'm toggling back and forth trying to make sure I don't forget about you guys there. I know you're hanging in there with me. And of course, just hey, it's going to be a great weekend of football. Enjoy tonight's game. Okay. And I think you guys, hey, Pollard is better. I agree. And but and they have to be careful because if Pollard becomes too much better, then they're gonna have some money problems because they done gave Zeke a crap load of money and they're not getting a return on their investment. But they want to win, and I think that's what it's all about. So, but yeah, I do agree, Pollard is better. So, hey guys, thank you guys for joining me here, and I'm gonna reach out and we're gonna talk about some tickets here and who we're gonna who we're gonna send to a game here. But I really appreciate you guys for joining me. You can listen to this show in its entirety. We're gonna put it up on Podbean and enjoy tonight's game, enjoy Sunday's game and Monday night's game. We'll see you back here again on the MeanGene Show. And don't forget about the MeanGene Show on KDWN 720 AM. If you're up, just go, just stay up and listen to the show live from Vegas. But if not, you can catch it on iHeart. You can catch it on Podbean. You can catch it on Spotify and all that stuff. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you back here next week on the MeanGene Show, live streaming on PodbeanLive.com.